Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Dad's Expensive Hobby.
What's up?
Today, I'm taking a look at the FonJoy Morty Smith action figure from Rick and Morty. Yesterday, I took a look at the Rick Sanchez figure. If you haven't watched that video, be sure and check it out. And with this figure right here, we've pretty much got more of the same. This is pretty good stuff. Going into this, I wasn't very familiar with FonJoy and their product, but I gotta tell you, I like what I see. I do have one major complaint, and hopefully it's just indicative of this line, these figures, and their character designs more or less, but they are very, very hard to stand up on their own. I didn't really mention that in my Rick video, but if you didn't have the stand that comes with them, these guys would be very, very difficult to balance on their own. But anyways, let's dig into Morty here because I like what I've seen thus far. His package is just like Rick's package. Very, very nice window, the way they're oriented inside. You can see everything. I do like the portal that's in the background there. That's awesome. Nice figure, image of Morty, I should say. Says Morty Smith right there. And again, it says Morty right there on the side, and a nice image of him on the side. So if you're an inbox guy like me, you could, display it like this or on the side, and it would work pretty well. And the back, it has some nice images of Morty doing some different stuff. Again, they need to do a little bit more with it, but just like Rick, it's got like a detailed kind of thing right there, listing off stuff, kind of how it would look on a computer screen or something that Rick was working on. Really nice packaging, nice material, nice print. Let's get Morty down here and see how tall he is, because he is smaller than Rick. So let's see how tall he is. To the top of his head, he is about 4 3/4 inches tall, so he is not very tall, which would make the entire figure right at 12 centimeters. So he is significantly smaller than Rick, and he's supposed to be. These are both 1/12, and here he is next to the Rick. So I would say that this height and the way that they've done these figures is about right. We saw Rick next to some other 1/12 figures, and I guess it will work. He's made, they're drawn with really, really big, oversized heads. So I think it works, but let's dig more into Morty. Now, for Morty's aesthetic, obviously, just like the Rick figure, they really nailed the look, in my opinion. Like, there's no mistaking this is Morty, and it's not, you don't have to stretch, I guess you'd say, mentally to imagine this is Morty. It's right on the money. Now, the finish that they've kind of went with and the color scheme that they've chosen, like the tones and stuff of the colors, kind of, at least in Morty's case, gives him a bit of a claymation kind of look, if anybody kind of knows what I'm talking about. But it's a very nice look. I love the finish. This flat finish and these tones of paint looks so good. I really love it. I mean, his hair looks and almost kind of feels like a little piece of chocolate or something. But speaking of his hair, I think maybe they went just a little too dark on his hair. If you can see the difference right there, I think it would have been just slightly more accurate if they'd have went with a little bit more of a vibrant brown. But it still looks really, really good. Of course, the bulging eyes, the little grin on his stupid face, his yellow t-shirt, his pants and everything. He looks good. Same as with Rick. They, of course, went with the all kind of ball hinge joints, and they're very obvious, and they're not all at the same time. Some people might have a problem with that aesthetic wise. It doesn't bother me, but I think they look good. His little triangular feet look pretty cool as far as capturing Morty, and I really, really like it. I love the paint and the finishes. They're so smooth, like it's almost like he's kind of slick. He's so flat with the finish they've got on him, but he looks pretty darn solid. Now, for his accessories, we get a fantastic spread of stuff, just like the Rick figure. We get 6 different looks, just like Rick. We get this head right here on him in the package, where he's got that little blank-eyed grin with this little particular hair on it, and it looks really, really nice. He also has this kind of typical scared Morty face, and I think it looks really nice. We get one where he's kind of dumbfounded or whatever. It looks really, really good. One similar to that, where the mouth is just a little less expressive, and it's great. We get kind of a blank stare again. I'm noticing a theme, but it looks really, really good. And kind of a mouth open tongue type of deal here that looks really nice as well. We also get the little helmet from the Morty's Mind Blowers kind of a deal, and it looks so good. The paint and finish on it are absolutely flawless. I love it. Reminds me of a helmet from the first Star Wars movie. Kind of a dork. Anyway, and he also gets a second hairpiece. I honestly don't really know what the hell the difference is. is, but it is there if you need it. For his other accessories, I do want to point out before I go over the other ones really quick, he does come with a little Pickle Rick right here, and I think that's pretty darn cool. I love Pickle Rick just like everybody else. But he gets a big bunch of stuff, and we'll go over it really quick. He comes with a couple of different Meeseeks boxes. Those are awesome. Everybody loves a Meeseeks box. He gets, I think he comes with 8 different hands. He gets middle finger hands just like the Rick, and then some fist and grasping hands and stuff. He gets a portal gun, of course. He gets the little vials or whatever these are from the Morty's Mind Blowers. He comes with the same 2 ray guns as Rick as well. There's his little tambourine from when they sing that weird song to that giant head. And of course, he gets the little antennas that go on his head for when they go to the microverse. He also has a really nice stand just like Rick does, and his says Morty on it. Shocker there. And lastly, again, he gets this weird little backdrop kind of thing here that is a portal, and I really like it. I think that it is done absolutely fantastic. These are great spreads of stuff that FonJoy has given us. Now, for his articulation, it is the same joint and engineering setup as the Rick figure, but there is one big difference, and that is more of a character design more than like the fault of FonJoy, but it is because Morty does not really have a neck. His head just kind of sits on his shoulders, where Rick actually has a neck. The same joint system in there, but you aren't going to get much out of it because there's no neck to move his head around on. You can still rotate it, of course, but it's on that ball peg, but it's just short, and there's nowhere for the head to go because, like I said, his head just sits on his shoulders. Not a complaint, really. It's just you don't get as much movement out of him, I guess. Shoulders come up to 90, but again, if you remember from the Rick video, every joint on him is a ball hinge, and the ball hinge in the shoulder just happens to be oriented to afford us that kind of range of motion. Right now, if I got in there finagled with it, it wouldn't move as far, but he does get a full 360. He has some semblance of a butterfly. The arm will come across him a little bit. Not that you really need his stuff to do that. That piece right there is just kind of floating around. Ball hinge elbow, just like Rick. It'll come up to 90, maybe a degree or 2 past. And of course, you see the ball hinge right there. And he does have a bicep swivel that moves around because it plugs, up into the arm from the ball hinge. Ball hinge wrist, so you get tons of movement on his little hands. In here, another ball hinge, but his is just oriented to where you can hinge him forward and back a little bit. And if you finagle, like popped him apart or whatever, you could finagle it to where he would go side to side. And of course, you get plenty of twist. No waist twist, just like Rick. And the hips are a ball hinge as well, so they'll come up to the waist, no big deal, forward or back. And if you bend it up and then take it out, it will go out to the side. Now his thigh swivel is basically just swiveling around on the fact that it pegs up into the leg. Ball hinge knee, you're going to get 90 degrees basically just like Rick, no big deal. You don't really buy in these guys to pose them all crazy. Ankle, once again, is just a ball peg. There's no ball hinge in the ankle, the one place where you really should have one. But he's got little triangular feet, and they're kind of hollowed out just the way Rick's were. No big deal. Overall, he moves good enough for what you're going to want Morty to kind of do. These are action figures and not all at the same time. These are pretty much meant to be kind of put into a diorama off on their own, doing their own thing, not really doing superhero type shit. Okay, final thoughts on the Rick and Morty Smith figure from FonJoy. Again, it's another good one. I'll be honest, I probably don't like this one on a subjective level as much as I do the Rick. For some reason, the Rick really stands out. Maybe because I'm an old man like him, it kind of resonates more with me. And the fact that they kind of, in my opinion, miscolored Morty's hair a little bit. Rick was pretty much a spot on 1-for-1, and Morty's hair color's a little off. I will give him a B-, still a good grade. They could improve some things, maybe some different joints or whatever, took their time a little bit more with it. I don't know. But these figures are pretty darn good, and I do recommend them if this is something you're into. If you're more of a Marvel Legend or, an SH Figuarts kind of guy, you might not like this, but if this is the kind of thing you like, you will definitely be pleased. Anyways, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. We're looking for 2,000 subscribers. This has been Dad with Dad's Expensive Hobby, and I'll talk to you all in the next video.